Hey folks, Brian finally got to my part 2. Trying to get I tried to upload, this is the second time I've tried to upload a video from my phone right into YouTube. Both times it failed. So, for some reason, my computer at work is able to actually identify my phone as an external device, and so I can pull pictures and videos out and throw them into my laptop and then load them up from there. But it's the weekend, I'm not at work, so I've been trying to mess with laptops I have at home, even my desktop. None of them recognize my phone as being an external device having memory, so they can move files around. And I couldn't find anything in iTunes to be able to download, upload pictures or anything. So I've been spending most of the day just trying to figure out how can I get my video loaded up into YouTube. And then, of course, everything needs to have these updates that nailed me yesterday and today. So I spent all kinds of time just waiting for stuff to upload or to update. And then I finally got Session 9 Part 1 loaded up now. So now it's off my phone. I can record again because my memory is maxing out. I have such a terrible life, right? Well, anyway, Part 2 of Session 9. The party decides that they're going to go to Summit Hall, and then from there go from there go to the High Forest, so the druid can try and find some moon druids there, so he can do his moon druid stuff, and the paladin can hook up with the paladin's Atir and learn how to smite and his weapon proficiency thing and that kind of stuff. So they head south, heading towards the Barge Ride Inn, and they run into a patrol of 3 bugbears, and they just mow right through them. One of the bugbears, because they did manage to surprise them, so one of the bugbears did get to wail on the barbarian pretty well, but after that, 1, 2, 3, they pretty much wiped them out. So if they spend the rest of the day, they get to the Barge Ride Inn, spend the night there. Next day, they head over to Summit Hall. And in the discussions at Summit Hall, they find out that the Paladins of Tyr don't know anything about these air cult guys. They didn't know about the Earth cult, and they had actually given some clues on that. So they're sharing information at least anyway. So they're trying to do some good stuff. And the Paladin makes a couple of rolls to convince them to be able to help him with his fighting style and learning how to pull Divine Smite and that kind of stuff. So he's got that worked out. It's going to take him, a 10-day to do that kind of stuff. So you're going to stay here and the rest of us will go to the High Forest with the druid, or do you want to come with us and come back later? And they decide to all go together. So they head off out to the High Forest. They get across the wilderness there with no real issues. They get to the edge of the High Forest at nightfall, and the druid asks for some druids to see if he can find any druid sign. So I have roll perception, and I make some rolls to see if there's actually any there, and sure enough, there was some, and he found it. So he starts following these druid signs, and they get in. It gets dark real fast, and they get ambushed by an owl bear. The paladin, who's actually in the back, actually here he made it he made the passive perception roll. Not that he made it, I made those rolls obviously, but it was his passive perception that made the roll. So I tell him, you hear something moving through the woods. He goes, well, I turn around. He turns around, there's the owl bear, and the owl bear attacks. Chomps on him pretty good once, but after that, again, this conservation of attacks, man, they just tore this owl bear apart. I did a couple more hits in, but nothing drastic. So at that point, though, it's late enough they need to make camp. So they make camp, and the next day in the morning, they encounter a patrol of centaur who tell the druid, I made some rolls, and they're friendly, they know some stuff, so they tell the druid that they'll take him to the druid circle that's near there, but everybody else needs to stay put. So they stay put in camp. The druid goes out to the druid circle. he convinces them to be able to teach him, the whole moon druid, shape shifting stuff and something else. And I didn't roleplay this one out like I did with the whole barbarian getting his fetch is the right word, getting his spirit animal and stuff. And I could have, probably should have, just to give it some more flavor. But it was getting late. I was getting a little tired. So we just kind of talked through it, that kind of thing. So they do their stuff. They all get back together. The druid gets back with the rest of the party. And the next day, they're heading back out across the wilderness between the high forest and Summit Hall. And just before they get to Summit Hall, it's getting dark. A flame or fire elemental cultist raiding party they run into, with a flame priest and 6 guardians. So I'm thinking this will be a decent fight. This will scare them. This is kind of tough. So they hear this maniacal laughter in the darkness, and she shoots off a fireball. Half of them make their saving throw. I mean, it wasn't too hard of a DC, and a couple of them have flame resistance. So yeah, it hurts a couple of them, but not all of them. So they arrange, guys with missiles do missile stuff. A couple of fighter guys start running forward. She gets a second fireball off that can only get 3 of them. And I think all 3 of those made their saving throw. So they got, but still, 86 damage. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. And doing it twice, even if you make saves. But someone got hurt. But I was kind of figuring I'd take a couple out with that one. I really did. I thought I would put a couple of them down. Nope, didn't happen. So I'm looking at her stuff and I'm going, let me do the Flame Strike. Flame Strike's got 3 attacks. That might be enough, because it's like 2d8. That'd be enough to take 3 of them down if I got that one off. So I think I would go ahead and do that. But with the ranged guys and the people moving up, they were able to take her out. She didn't even get her 3rd attack, and she had the 2nd highest initiative. So all the other guys, they've got these heavy crossbows, so they've just been firing at the guys moving up, and a couple shots to the guys in the distance kind of thing. And the druid casts entangling vines on a couple of the guys, and then does his shapeshift to bear, and so they're fighting off on one side, and they got the other guys moving in. They got the center guys coming up, and there's a big mangle going on, and they're able to gang up. So there's a bunch of there's like 3 guys fighting the barbarians. They've all got advantage, and then got one of the entangled guys with the heavy crossbow firing off at the bear, and the other guy pulls his sword and shield and starts fighting the bear. I missed that the entangled guys have disadvantage on attacks, so there's a little bit of, cheating's not the right word, but a little skewing going on there. But the guardians have this ability to flame their sword once every short or long rest, and it only does an extra d6 and only lasts 1 round. Practically useless. But one of them got a critical hit on the bear, and so I had him flame his sword. Get the extra die doubled in there to do some damage. They end up putting his bear image down, his bear shape down. And so he's a regular druid for a round, and then he can shapeshift twice, so he does his 2nd shift. And holy cow, talk about a lot of hit points to get through. 2 bears plus a druid. They weren't really going to be able to do much, but they ended up taking those 2 guys out. And after the priestess was down, getting through all the fighters, it was just at that point it was kind of a slog fest. Because they had a pretty decent armor class, and at that point they're almost outnumbered. So, but they went one, then another one, then another one, and then Aloysius, the imp familiar, starts flying around and stinging guys and that kind of thing. So making missing saving throws. You know, they're pretty decent levels. They got some hit points, so it takes 2 or 3, 4 hits maybe to get them down, even with the poison and stuff. So combat lasted a while, but I was really, again, it almost felt like a walkthrough. Now, I don't know offhand what their hit points were all down to, but I'm guessing after the 2 fireballs, they're all pretty much, most of them anyway, were down fairly low. But the barbarian, he maybe got to half of his hit points with all that stuff going on, even with, essentially 6 attacks, so 6 opportunities for a crit every round. But they were hitting him fairly often. But again, he's raging, so he's only taking half damage and, that kind of stuff. So they ended up wiping them out, and then they start just looting the bodies. I'm going, how are you guys going to carry out stuff? Yeah, these guys have got breastplates, and yeah, they all have long swords, but seriously? 6 guys worth of armor and weapons. And I went ahead and rolled for some money. Yeah, they had silver arms, so they had some cash as well. But carrying all that stuff, I mean, they would need a cart just on space alone, volume alone. So yeah, I'm not sure how well that's going to go. That's kind of where we ended, because we hit past midnight, and that's our rule on Saturday nights, because we all have church in the morning, to close to midnight as we can. So that's where we ended up stopping. But in preparation, I'll do it. In preparation for that session, I went back through the Princess of Apocalypse. I went through the tower again, just to review all that stuff. I looked over some of the stuff for all of the temple's outposts, the Earth Temple and the Water Temple, and I didn't really go into the Fire Temple though, because they don't really know where that is, and they don't have any connections with it yet. Now they know there is a Fire Temple though. They were, speculating there was earlier, but now they know. But and then I started reading from the front all the way through again, just reading about each cult, their theory and philosophy, and how they deal with things and that kind of stuff. And I come across a couple of those comments where you're going, it was the Mirabar delegation. Last time they were seen was heading west across the bridge before heading south. Yet the actual ambush site is on the east side of the river, south of the town. Just don't catch this kind of stuff. And like my buddy Ed said, what would you expect from Wizards of the Coast? Well, if they're putting out 1 book a year, I expect something. Now, I don't even know when 5th edition was published, because we didn't catch on to 5th edition until, last year and a half ago now. So, maybe it was 2 years now, when we got a hold of 5th edition. I got the group together and we were all playing. Excuse me. So, how many of these, publications have they done? There's the Dragon one, there's Princes, the Underdark, and the Storm King's Thunder thing. That's 4. Maybe they're doing 2 a year, if you count the other books, not counting the core rule books, maybe. Because you got Vola's Guide, and you got this other one just came out, and there was something before that one too. So maybe they got 2 publications a year. 2 publications a year coming out. Just my gripe. Can you get through it all? Yeah, I have to be able to read and understand what's really going on and say, okay, this is a typo. This is not what they meant. So you can get by it. It's not that drastic. But if you're not that familiar with it, it could get very confusing. Because it threw me off left and right. And then they make the maps where north is not always to the top of the page. They shift stuff around so it fits inside the box where it is they want to put it for the text so it looks good. So north is this way, or north is down, or whatever. Just little things like that bother me as a consumer. Well, anyway, that's it. I was thinking I might have to go to a 3rd video, because I was talking to myself about the whole review piece being a 3rd piece. But hey, we're still under 15 minutes, so we're good. Good gaming, guys.